Welcome to episode 32 of Character Unlock. I am hosting today. I'm Andrew Brooker, and joining me as always is my, I don't know, I want to say my hetero life mate just because James Silent Bob. But he's not. But he is. Well, he is kind of. But it is. You're right. It's John Miller. You're right, mate.
I like the as ever because I just realised that I'm the only one who's actually done every episode.
Well, that's only because Mass Effect is balls.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with it.
And there we go. I got the Mass Effect reference in early. And it wasn't even me this time.
Well, it kind of was. You led it in that direction. Prick.
Yeah.
Well, start as we mean to go on, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there's a... Yeah, I think we've got loads to talk about. I've had time. I've had a couple of days off work, so I've had time to play a couple of games. And well, I've had time to play a lot of games, and a couple of them I'll talk about today. John's been beeping away in my ear with his game since the second we got onto the call.
Yeah.
But... Oh, fucking hell. Do we have to talk about this? It's been so shit. Let's just get on with it. Let's get on and just rack on EA for a bit. Pretty much the only newsworthy thing to talk about at the moment is like the continued saga of EA and their loot boxes. So for those who, I don't know, have been playing ostrich with head in the sand for the last few weeks, EA have added the entirety of 2017 has been about loot boxes, and EA naturally have gotten into this or jumped on this train and thrown them into Star Wars Battlefront, but they've done it in such a disgustingly predatory way that finally people have come to their senses and gone, well, this is absolute, complete and total and utter bullshit. We should not be doing this. Which prompted... Well, first it prompted EA to say, okay, we're going to scale it back a bit, and they changed all of their... the values, I suppose?
Yeah, they dropped the currency requirement for buying loot boxes.
Yeah. So before they done it, someone done the math, and it would take you ish, and I say ish because he's been very specific about this, but I do think it's an ish because I do think some of it will be, a little bit skill based as well. But 4,528 hours worth of grinding to earn enough in-game currency, whatever, to unlock all of your heroes in Star Wars, or $2,100 on top of your, $60 game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's that? 1,700 quid? 1,600 quid?
Yeah, 1,1700, maybe at the moment, maybe even pushing to 18.
Yeah. So £1,800 on top of your £45 game, which when you say that is almost pointless. £45 is neither here nor there when you're spending nearly $2,000 to unlock everything in the game. And I think EA might have gotten away with this if they hadn't have done something so fucking stupid as to take heroes, and I use heroes in the online shooter term, not like film heroes for Star Wars, but like Darth Vader and Han Solo and Rey and all these people, genuinely iconic characters that you would expect to be able to play as in a Star Wars game. You have to grind or pay to play.
Yeah, it's not even pay to play, it's pay to get the chance to play.
Yeah. Well, this is the other problem, because the other thing on top of this is the whole loot box thing, which gives you, I believe they're called star cards.
Yeah, something like that.
I've played about an hour's worth of Battlefront, and I didn't pay attention to anything in it. So everything, pretty much all of my knowledge for this comes from the shit I've read online, which is a problem when you spend your lunch break reading Reddit, because basically it's, angry people, and a lot of people blowing things out of proportion. So, and not necessarily for this story, but people blowing things out of proportion. You're never quite sure what's accurate and what isn't. But it is, it's widely documented that these star cards will give you, not could, will give you an advantage over players that aren't using them in online gameplay, which is just disgusting and the very definition of pay to win. I cannot believe even a double golden poo winning company like EA thought they were going to get away with that.
Oh, look, they've gotten away with it for God knows how long with Ultimate Team. And we've said this before, is that the people spend fortunes on their Ultimate Team packs, and people have spent fortunes on microtransactions on other EA titles. Even the Need for Speed stuff has previously had stuff.
The new Need for Speed has got loot boxes ish.
Yes, but they've changed that after the fallout from.
They have as well. I played the EA Play, the EA Access demo, the trial for Need for Speed. Have you played it yet?
Not yet. I really want to.
It's actually really good. Like, I enjoyed. I didn't play all 10 hours because I was playing the story, and you're allowed to get up to like the end of the first set of missions, and you get a little box going, "You must buy now," and the continue button, which is on Xbox, so it's A, is instead of. So I did it. I hit continue, and shit, that's just taking me to the store to buy it. You fuckers.
Yep.
But I don't know what it was like beforehand. But the changes they've made meant that I didn't once think I need to go and pick up a loot box. I need to go and buy something to forward my progression. Maybe it's just because I didn't get far enough in the story for it to be a problem. By the time I got to the end of the little bit I was playing, my car was still slightly under level to the recommended level it should be for some races. I still won. Granted, I was playing on easy because it's a racing game and I suck balls. But,
Also, you're not very good at racing games.
Well, this is what I mean. It's because they're in my face.
Yep.
I can't see the TV. It's just like the hairy testicle in your eye. You try and drive like that. See how far you get. This conversation is not taking the direction I expected it to take.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so they have changed the microtransactions and loot boxes and things in Need for Speed. And again, I don't know what they were like, but all I can tell you is they don't feel that bad at the moment. But the saga with Battlefront kind of... Yeah, because they tried to get a little bit... They tried some damage control by changing the requirements for these loot boxes and these hero unlocks and all this kind of shit. And failed miserably. And now, quite famously, have the single most downvoted Reddit response ever.
Yep.
Which is an amazing
takes some
thing.
doing.
It does take some doing.
Trolls get less than that.
Yeah. And this is, it gets a bit kind of fuzzy.
When DICE and EA turned around and said that loot boxes was Lucasfilm's idea.
And then Lucasfilm and Disney have apparently both, even though they're kind of one in the same company, they've kind of both intervened and forced EA to take microtransactions and loot boxes out of Battlefront completely. Yep. EA have used the word temporary, so I do think they will probably come back, mainly because, from what I can tell, these systems are so ingrained into the game that to take them out breaks the game just as much as having them in. So I am almost certain they will come back. But EA pissed off Disney, man.
Yep.
I mean, did they really think they were going to get away with that?
The worst part, the thing is that EA cancelled a game for Disney and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And closed a studio that was making said game.
Mm-hmm.
Then did this, they're close to causing Disney to turn around and say, "Look, seriously, we'd rather work with Ubisoft right now."
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me fucking started on the studio closure thing. Because a week or 2 weeks after they closed Visceral Studios, they've gone and fucking bought Respawn.
Yeah,
Handed over $400 million to Zampella and West.
to pick up a studio that was exclusively making games for them anyway.
Yep.
It's not like
And
Respawn have made anything that's not
no,
any EA title so far.
but so we've also had confirmed that they're making Titanfall 3. That fucker's going to be microtransaction filled.
Well, have you just seen the online from Titanfall 2 currently?
No.
It's not filled with microtransactions, but almost all of the cosmetic stuff, almost all of the upgrades, the cosmetic stuff anyway,
Yeah.
definitely. There's a fuck ton of microtransactions.
Yeah.
So I've got one of the Titan that I use almost exclusively, the North Star variant. I've paid $2.99 to have the Elite armor piece design. I don't even know what it does.
They just
Don't know
look
what
pretty.
it looked cool. It changed the way that the appearance of it, and it gave me an extra a second execution that looks cooler than the standard one.
Cool.
But other than that, I don't think it does anything.
So here's the thing, because you talk about the cosmetic stuff. I do think over the last few months, and this really hasn't helped, I've kind of changed my tone on loot boxes. I've always thought they were a bit kind of shitty, but as long as it was only cosmetic stuff, I was kind of happy with it. I don't think I think that anymore. I, I genuinely, I look at it and go, so Overwatch, which is the big one for cosmetic only, and to be fair to Overwatch, everything in a loot box is only cosmetic. It's a hero shooter. There's no weapon progression. There's no character progression. It's all just skins and tags and things. There's nothing in a loot box that will help you win. But I do think that games like that have put a lot of cosmetic only loot crates into games have made us sit and go, it's just another game with another loot box. We've just gotten complacent. We've gotten used to it. Yeah, I don't think. When I first played Overwatch, I went, okay, it's there. It doesn't bother me. And I buy microtransactions. I buy loot boxes because it's the kind of player I am, and it's the kind of person I am. But now, now we're at a point where they've gone from cosmetics to like Shadow of War, where it's buffs, but just for single player. It's just for the single player. To this,
Yeah.
which is the most egregious use of loot boxes we've had since, or yet even. I don't know, mate. I'm talking a lot and getting really angry about things. What do you think about
Uh,
like loot boxes in general?
I've had nothing against loot boxes at any point in the history of games. I mean, I love loot boxes. I think that they're a really cool thing. But the problem with loot boxes for a lot of games more recently is that they're not cosmetic items. I mean, I've paid for loot boxes on Mass Effect 3 because it's just a quicker way of unlocking stuff.
Yeah,
And it's fine because it's the quickest way of doing it is you pay essentially. Earning the credits is, you know, slow, let's be honest.
yeah,
But open up a loot box in real money, and then you can open up the other loot boxes without real money
yeah,
pretty quickly. It's the more recent stuff where it's changed to cosmetic loot boxes for Overwatch and a couple of others has caused the companies that are releasing loot boxes that are pay to win. They're definitely showing the public clearly are more angry about it now than they ever were.
yeah.
Nobody has previously cared that much about loot boxes being pay to win. Battlefront 2, no, Battlefield 3 had,
Shortcut kits.
yes.
Yeah,
where there was not exactly a lot of up in arms about that.
No, so the thing with shortcut kits, and I'm not defending them at all, I think they're fucking abhorrent, and I don't see the point in them because it completely defeats the object of playing the game. Because you pick a class and you play a certain way to unlock the weapons that you want. If you can just buy them, what's the fucking point? I do understand there's an argument for people that go, oh, well, I don't have time to play that much, and I just want to, I've been tempted to do it. When I played Battlefield, all I ever wanted was to unlock my M4 and just spend my time just ruining people online. And then, I had a kid, and the idea of jumping into a 45-minute online game, it went out the window completely. I've never bought a shortcut kit, but the temptation's always been there. But I don't know. I think if EA had done this to Army of Two 4,
Would anyone have noticed?
no one would have cared. But they went and done it to Star Wars,
Yeah.
which, and let's nip this shit in the bud. EA turned around and went, games are expensive to make, and their defenders went, games are expensive to make, and they need to make their money back. You could make a Star Wars game, sell it for half price that you normally sell all of your other games for, and it would still make a fucking profit. Because it's a Star Wars game. It's got a bigger market than just gamers.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed to make money. This is not the hill EA should have chosen to die on.
No, it's fucking atrocious. I mean, of all the games to pick that you're going to do this on, Star Wars games are essentially a license to print money. Battlefront 2 is probably one of the most hyped up games in history, and it comes around to you don't need to advertise this thing. People are going to buy it because that's the reason they bought the first one.
Yep.
Battlefront 1 sold a fuck ton, an absolute fuck ton of copies.
Yeah.
And it was shite.
And let's not forget as well, Battlefront 1 had a similar problem, as it clearly felt unfinished. And it didn't feel finished until you bought a £40 season pass and got everything else with it.
No.
Yeah.
And Battlefront 2 is always going to be remembered for the microtransactions and the fact that it feels like just straight up gambling with real money in a game, when it's probably going to be also could be considered to be one of the top shooters.
Yep.
Especially in this generation.
Yep.
There aren't that many games that are as fun to play as a shooter. It's just no one's ever really going to care about that aspect. Everyone's going to remember the bandwagon. I've not yet played Battlefront 2 at home. I played it at Eurogame, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've actually yet to fire it up. I don't have the kind of time to just randomly pick a game and play it when I've got to. At the moment, I'm playing, fucking Pokemon. of all games, just because I've got more time to play a handheld game than I do to fire up my console.
Yeah.
I can play a handheld game while sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah.
I can't play my Xbox and watch what's on the TV at the same time.
No. But I mean, here's my fear. Okay. So all this dies down after Christmas. We get a new Star Wars film in a couple of weeks. No one gives a shit about Battlefront anymore. A couple of months' time, maybe the microtransactions come back. Nowhere near as egregious as they used to be, but they're there. What happens this time next year when the inevitable Battlefield sequel comes out?
Yeah, Battlefield 1.
EA might not care about Battlefront, but to a lot of gamers, even now, Battlefield is sacred. You're not allowed to fuck with Battlefield. Shortcut kits or not, you're not allowed to fuck with Battlefield.
Yeah. No one's gonna stop them from fucking with Battlefield. Let's be honest. I mean, so many of the people out there are outraged with this because they've done it to a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of faux outrage out there.
Yeah, of course there is.
It's come out. The outrage for this has come out of nowhere. The fact that there's like people, there are politicians, right? None of them care, truly.
No.
But the fact that it's become so massive are jumping on this, probably because there's other news stories out there that they don't want people to realize.
Yeah.
Probably the net neutrality stuff.
Well, yeah. So there are I believe four countries. Well, I say four, three countries and one state. So Belgium have come out. The Belgian government, because the Belgians have a gaming commission,
Yeah.
and they've come out and said categorically that this looks like gambling. So we will investigate. And it I sit on the fence as to whether you can call it gambling. I do think it's gambling, but whether technically you could really call it that, yes, that's up to minds much more smarter. That would not have been a good thing to say.
Yeah.
And yet I said it anyway. The Swedes have got involved, I believe.
Yep.
Just recently, the Australians have gotten involved. Now, if the Australians are having a pop at you about your game, you're in trouble, because the Australians don't fuck about when it comes to games.
No, if the Australians are going to come around to it, EA are no longer going to be able to sell any more games in Australia.
No.
That's it. It's just game over for EA. Because you just lost an entire market.
Australians petitioned for years and years and years to get an R18 rating in their games, so that they could get a lot of these games that are banned. Like games like Mortal Kombat and things are all banned in Australia. This R18 rating came out, and they're still banned because the conditions for that particular rating, things like Mortal Kombat, are still too much for it.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're being fucked with by the Australians, you'll never sell anything over there. Not that I think it's a particularly big market, but it gets you noticed. But I think it is he the governor of Hawaii.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the state representatives.
Okay. Well, yeah, there was like three or four people that got involved in this. But the best one for me was Chris Lee, who's just a Democrat from Hawaii. I'm not American. I know nothing about this guy. But obviously, because he's stuck his oar in, he's gotten a bit of publicity from it. And he called Battlefront a Star Wars-themed online casino.
Yep.
Which, ouch. And this is why Disney have gotten involved. Disney don't need that kind of publicity. Not 2 weeks before their new film comes out. Not that I think it will affect The Last Jedi one little bit. I said this a couple of episodes ago. You could have characters raping babies in Star Wars and people would still go and see it because it's got Star Wars on the title. And I do stand by that. I firmly believe that that's true.
Yeah. It's there's the other one, the other representative. What's his name? The other chap. I can't remember his name. And I can't bother to look it up. What is the one who compared the microtransactions to the old school cigarette commercials?
Oh yeah, we did. He said we didn't allow Joe Camel to encourage our kids to smoke cigarettes. We shouldn't allow Star Wars to encourage our kids to gamble.
Exactly.
Literally, if I was a Disney exec or a Lucasfilm exec, or fuck me, an EA exec, I would have been clawing at my face as they said that.
Yeah.
To be lumbered in with probably, the worst legal social stigma there is. To be compared to Joe Camel and the Marlboro Man is not good.
Yeah.
It's not. To be compared to having kids, having kids buy your game is as bad as just giving them a pack of cigarettes. Is basically what this guy said. Fucking hell. That would have been, I wouldn't have liked to have heard that about my product at all.
Have you seen the EA stock has taken a fair whack of a nosedive in the last month?
I fucking hope so as well.
Yeah. It's like since the release of Battlefront 2, it's just dropped.
Well, they had the whole thing, didn't they? They had
dropped.
the cancelling of the Star Wars game, the closing of Visceral, and then this. It's not been a good time for EA.
No. They've
Good.
made some really poor decisions, and they're getting bitten in the ass for it.
Yeah. Finally being called on their bullshit, which is yeah, good. Fucking assholes.
Bunch of cunts.
Yeah. And it's a shame because I still like so many of their games. Still play Madden every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I even started playing NHL every year when it goes free in the vault.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun to flick a hockey puck around for a little bit. It's
I
only more
say
fun than FIFA at the moment.
Need for Speed is amazing. I'm really enjoying it. It's it's loads of fun. I want to play it more. Actually, I would play it more, but
You're
I
not paying for it.
well, it's not that. I was going to rent. Well, I did rent it. I rented it from Boomerang, and it turned up, and I went to install it, and it failed to install from the disc. Got to 81% and stopped. So I cleared it all, and I started again, 81% and stopped. And I was like, oh shit, please. I go, please, 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 don't tell me my fucking disc drive is fucked. It's a brand new console, please. But no, I installed like 2 other games from disc, and it was fine. But this was Friday. Or Friday or Saturday. This was happening. I was like, oh, I've got a couple of days off work, and now I can't play Need for Speed like I wanted to.
Yep.
And even better, today, my first day back at work this week, I get home from work, and Call of Duty World War II has turned up in the post. Woo! I haven't got time to play it.
No.
And I'd already given up hope of it turning up, and I've started a big game, so there's going to have to wait now. But yeah, I think I'm all done with EA.
We're angered out now.
Is there any other news you want to talk about?
I suppose we could give a brief mention to the Golden Joysticks. Just flick across a couple of winners.
Oh yeah. Did I send you a link for that?
I've got it in front of me.
Which is great because it means I sent you a link, but then didn't save said link. So I'm a fucking idiot.
You're a smart fella.
Yeah. All the winners from Golden Joysticks. So this is, which one's the Golden Joystick? So this is the future publishing based one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, the one that people care about.
Yeah.
Basically, because no one really cares about the BAFTA video gaming one.
No. And then you got the Game Awards next month.
Again, no one really cares about that one either.
Well, the thing with the Game Awards is the Jeff Keighley one, isn't it? So actually you get like reveals and new trailers and that, which is what I'm more interested in.
Yeah.
And I think they've put like best game as a service or something. So I'm like, oh fucking hell, okay. So things like Rainbow Six Siege are eligible for awards this year as well, because continuous improvement or something. But yes, let's have a. We won't do all of these because last year we tried to go through the Game Awards and it was just a fucking disaster.
Oh yeah, massive clusterfuck. Took the whole episode up with no real reason.
Well, it did, and it was all over the shop as well. It was just talking about one game for 10 minutes and then 3 other games for 4.
Yeah, because we had no idea what the fuck was going on for the rest of them. Just didn't. I'd never seen any of these games before. Never played them.
So let's go through the list relatively quickly for the big ones. So I'm quite happy with some of these as well, I have to admit. So it's the best story. Horizon Zero Dawn won that.
Yep.
Which I think is deserved. I don't think I've played a game with a better story. But yeah, I really liked Horizon Zero Dawn. So all the awards that thing gets, the better.
Yep.
Do you want to go through a couple?
Yeah. You know what? This one's I actually find quite entertaining. The best indie game of Friday the 13th, the game. Pretty sure that is fallen apart miserably because a lot of people don't play it due to it being relatively broken.
It is fixed.
Okay, maybe the game not broken, but people file complaints against the people playing as Jason because there are I can't even, they're not even exploits. It's just the way that the game's designed.
Yeah.
Is there's things that the the killer can do that the people playing as the victims don't like, so therefore file complaints against the person as the killer.
Yeah.
So therefore they no longer are able to play with anyone,
Yeah.
which is
So
fucking awful.
I haven't played Friday the 13th yet. I'm waiting for the box edition to come out and then for me to be bothered to go and buy it.
Yeah.
It has a massive, massive following in like horror film circles. Not completely by surprise. But whereas your average gamer has kind of picked it up, played it for a little while and gone, nah, not really feeling that. A lot of like real hardcore horror people, and especially hardcore Friday the 13th fans, are picking it up and playing because they're appreciating things like skins. I know this sounds really daft, but there are significant differences between like Friday the 13th Part 5 Jason and Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason. And fans like that, you know. And I'll be honest, I like that. Horror films are my bag. I could sit and watch horror films all day, every day, quite fucking happily, you know, and you'd never hear a complaint from me. And while I fall into that category, and I do appreciate that this will mean nothing to most people that listen to this, but a guy called Kane Hodder has done all the motion capture for Friday the 13th. Now, he's the only person, I believe, to have played Jason in more than one Friday the 13th film. He's a fan favourite when it comes to, you know, who's your favourite Jason? Everyone will tell you Kane Hodder. Everyone. So it has that kind of following to it. I can appreciate it winning Best Indie Game. I'd rather that than, say, Player Unknown. Or something that's got this huge hype around it. I'm not entirely sure why. But that's just me. Anything that puts horror in the limelight, I'm quite happy with. I went a bit in depth for that, didn't I? Sorry.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit more. So, best multiplayer game of PUBG.
Fuck PUBG.
Yep.
And
Ooh.
fuck people that call it PUBG as well.
So everyone.
Pretty much. Fuck you all.
What was that? Best VR game of that one that you liked, the Resident Evil 7.
That feels like a heavily, you know, weighted category, because I can't think of any other great VR games this year.
Well, that's the thing. Is that when you go best VR game, Resident Evil 7 is the only actual game.
It's literally like having a category of best Resident Evil game from January.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go proper think of another VR game
that came out this year.
Yeah.
Okay, in fairness, there are a few, but none that stand out to me.
No, I mean there's Skyrim, I guess.
Yeah, I've played Skyrim VR. It's shit, but
Well,
I'm not a Skyrim fan, so
no. Esports game of the year. 3 guesses on what that could be.
Overwatch.
There we go. Got it in one.
Yeah.
Handheld mobile game of the year. Oh, that one's easy.
Handheld. Oh, is that going to be Pokemon?
It is Pokemon.
Cool.
Pokemon Sun and Moon. So not even the most recent one.
When did the most recent one come out?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't even know. I didn't realize it had only been like a year since Sun and Moon for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But I suppose that goes nicely with the fact that they confirmed that. I think. Was it this one? I think it's either the next Pokemon game or this Pokemon game are the last to be made on 3DS.
Wow.
Yeah, or the 3DS family rather.
Yeah.
So either we're getting new Nintendo handhelds that are a different new family, or because they've also confirmed that there was no intentions of making actual Pokemon games on Switch. Only things like the expanded Pokemon games, so the Pokemon Stadiums, Pokken Tournament, possibly Snap, Mystery Dungeon stuff, rather than the actual full-on Pokemon games.
Oh,
So
okay.
either we're getting new handheld consoles to replace the DS, or we're going Switch.
Yeah.
Pokemon on Switch, because the Switch has Pokemon on Switch is £180 of me buying a new console.
Yeah, I've been looking at Switches recently myself. Not for Pokemon, but I have been looking at Switches. I want to play Mario Rabbids again.
I want to play that too.
It was
I,
fucking
I don't
awesome.
even understand. I didn't understand what we were doing, but I still played it, and I still
I
loved
I
it.
understood what I was doing. I've spent years of my life playing XCOM. I knew what I was doing. I just wasn't very good at it.
Especially when the rabbits just started like cheating
Yeah,
and going. It was like for some reason they could go all the way around the map in like 2 moves, and I was like, "Hang on, what?"
yeah,
And then shoot you from behind. Anyway, Nintendo Game of the Year is Breath of the Wild,
yeah,
which seems likely.
yeah. It's been critically acclaimed, hasn't it? Everyone that's played it has loved it. Fair enough, if that's your bag.
Your PlayStation Game of the Year is Horizon.
So yeah, because Horizon won that, and obviously won Best Story, and the woman that plays Aloy, so Ashley Birch, has won a
Yep.
couple of awards herself
Oh,
as well.
she won Voice of the Year, and also she got Breakthrough Award because I'm guessing this is like her first job.
I think it is, yeah, or one of her. It's her first big job,
Yeah.
and she was really good as well. Like she acted her heart out. She was amazing in it.
Xbox Game of the Year of Cuphead, which
Yeah,
doesn't really say a lot about the Xbox list of games.
well, it doesn't really, does it? But
It's like the game's not been out that long.
no,
It's been highly anticipated because it's been teased since the Xbox One
yeah,
was announced. So that was nearly 5 years ago.
yeah. And by all accounts, it's really, really good. So I'm not going to take anything away from it.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's mega fucking hard.
but the other exclusives for Xbox this year have been Gears and Forza, and
Yeah,
you know, none of these games are groundbreaking. They're all good and they're all fun, but none of them are groundbreaking. Cuphead at least is something different.
yeah.
You know, you can't take that away from them as much as you may want to.
Well, it's certainly better to have Cuphead, which is at least a Windows exclusive, not just a Xbox exclusive.
Yeah,
Sorry, Microsoft exclusive rather, not Windows.
yeah,
So it's at the very least an exclusive title instead of them picking what they would normally do, which is just a game that's released cross-platform, and they just happens to be the best on Xbox
well, yeah.
because
5 years ago, it would have been COD, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Xbox Game of the Year, Call of Duty. Wait, what?
just because it's got that timed exclusive deal.
Yeah.
Be even more funny if it was COD this year.
But yeah,
PC Game of the Year being PUBG again.
yeah.
And Most Wanted game is The Last of Us Part 2.
Well,
And apparently there was an award for still playing game, which is World of Tanks. So don't forget about World of Tanks.
I'm pretty sure World of Tanks just put out an Xbox One X enhanced patch as well. You got to give those guys credit for still throwing time and money into that game.
Yeah. I mean, a running joke for this one, World of Tanks, I'm pretty sure it falls under the Xbox One X enhanced category.
Yeah, I think it does. But yeah, I would say for maybe not for us, but at least for this podcast, two notable games missing from all of the winners. One doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because Mass Effect Andromeda, for all intents and purposes, shouldn't ever win anything.
No.
But also, no Destiny.
Yeah. Well, Destiny 2, despite being better than the first one, gameplay wise and just in general, is
Yeah.
actually worse than the first one because there's just not enough of it.
In fairness, this list of awards does feel like a genuine awards list.
Yeah,
Like
rather than chewing in the.
hasn't just been thrown to whatever's popular.
Well, yeah, I mean, there isn't a one for best shooter.
No.
So
But esports play of the year, esports team of the year, esports game of the year, and best streamer / broadcaster can all fuck off. Just
yeah, I
no.
don't even understand what any of these things are.
No. Just fuck off.
So I just flicked down a bit further on, and I saw this, which this certainly makes a lot of sense. In one of the comments, they said they're going to have a serious look at the mobile handheld category now that we live in a post-Switch age,
Yeah,
which is true. I mean, if you really want to consider it, the Switch is a handheld mobile a console.
it is.
It has the dock to connect to a TV, but it's not the first time you've been able to play Nintendo handheld games on TV. You just, instead of spending a fortune on the docking station for your N64 to put Game Boy cards in, or the docking station for the GameCube to put Game Boy Advance cards in it, or there's a DS to Wii, I think, control. But yeah, the Switch is the first proper mobile, handheld, and TV console.
Yeah, I think the guy that made the comment is right because it's got proper games. It's got Mario Odyssey, which is critically acclaimed. It's got Doom now, which from what I've heard is outstanding on the Switch. Yeah, it's got Wolfenstein coming. It's got Breath of the Wild. It's got Mario Rabbids. It's got Skyrim now. Everything's got fucking Skyrim.
Well,
But yeah, I do agree. I think in the next year or so, these things have to change themselves up. I don't think anyone expected the Switch to be as successful as it has been.
yeah, honestly, I'm very surprised that the Switch is popular because I thought, oh, it's heavily underpowered for this generation. They're throwing out a console which is as powerful as the original PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
In a time when the Pro and X are a thing.
it's not a market Nintendo need to go after.
But let's be honest, the original consoles that came out for this generation of the PlayStation and the Xbox One are still fucking powerful enough that you don't need to go for the full 4K system for it. And beyond that, if you went 4K power on a tablet, basically, which is what it is, I mean, yeah, the docking station probably adds help, but you don't want the battery on it would last maybe 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, you've also got to consider the size of the thing you'd have to carry around.
Yeah, you just want to walk around with a fucking table in your pocket.
Well, you'd have to. It'll be basically like walking around with a PlayStation 4 with a screen on it.
Yeah,
It would have to be because all of that kit inside the PS4 is what makes it that powerful. It's just not a market Nintendo want or need to go after. In fact, they would lose so much money chasing business and trying to get business from PlayStation and Xbox when those two plus PC have got that bit of the market cornered. Nintendo just needs to do something a little bit different, which they have.
yeah, they've done.
They already had their fingers firmly in the handheld pie with 3DS, and they've just expanded on that.
Yeah,
I think it's fucking genius.
Switch is look. I've played one once, thanks to Jack. It was all of about 40 seconds before the controller died.
Yeah, that wasn't the best advert for
No,
for the Switch, was it? Bless him.
I liked it. It was cool, and the brief switch of when we played Mario Rabbids, that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I keep sitting there, right? So in a week and a half, so a week on Monday, I'm actually in London for a week on a training course, and I keep going, if I buy a Switch now, I could take it with me, and I could play games the entire time I'm away.
Yep.
And the only thing that's stopping me is when my wife looked at me and went, "You want to put another console by the TV?" Yes, dear. Yes, I do. No. fuck off. But yeah, I am very tempted. I really, really want one. And I haven't really, really wanted a Nintendo console since the fucking Wii hype.
That's the biggest problem I can think of with the Switch is, for one, it being like nearly £300, and I'm
It's a
not,
lot of money.
and the games themselves are also a lot of money.
Yeah.
But sorry, the there's
Am I
not.
keeping you up?
Yeah, apparently, Ugh. There's not actually a lot of games, really. I mean, there's Mario Odyssey, there's Mario Kart 8 remaster, Doom,
Yeah.
Mario Rabbids.
I think.
That's about it. There's
I think.
Splatoon 2 and LA Noire, I guess.
Yeah. You kind of have to bank on what's coming. So Bethesda have put a few eggs in the Switch basket now. So I think we'll get some support from Bethesda. So we'll get a few of their games, maybe not day and date with main consoles, but I do think we'll get a lot of their games on Switch. I think Resident Evil Revelations is coming on Switch. You know, these are games that the Wii U never fucking had.
No.
You know, and this is support that the Wii U never had, and this is within 8 months of the machine being a thing. So, I do think it's got a big, I think it's got a big future ahead of it. You know, and we can sit and rag on the amount of games it didn't have. How many Xbox One X exclusive games did we buy with our Xbox One X's last week or the week before?
None.
There you go. And yet we still both went out and spent 450 quid on a brand
True.
new Xbox One X, a brand new version of our current consoles that neither of us have the capability to use fully yet.
Yeah, I've got One X, Scorpio Edition. I don't have a 4K TV even remotely close to my house. It's like I don't like my neighbors don't even have them. I can't even like steal theirs. And
this is, I feel like I'm being really nice to Nintendo today, but I kind of, I don't want to rag on them because they've got no games. I've bought 2 consoles, well, 3 consoles if you include the One X as well, in the last couple of years that have released with next to no day one games.
yeah, what was my Xbox One original? I think day one games that I had were the FIFA at the time, so that's 13.
Yep.
Dead Rising 3.
Yep.
And the Forza that came out with it.
Yep. That was it.
That was my release.
Yep.
Do you know which game I enjoyed the most out of all of those?
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
But this is the same thing with my PS4. I had the day off and I had the PS4 delivered to me on launch day. That I had a shitload of games turn up for it. Almost all of them were also available on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. The only exclusive I had that day was Killzone.
Yep.
And let's be fair about this, as much as I fucking love Killzone, that's not a system-selling game.
No, that's a game that will last you a fucking short time, in theory. Once you finish the story, there isn't really much else to do.
No, but it looks gorgeous, but people don't play Killzone games. I play Killzone games. Most people do not.
No.
So that's not a system-selling title. But yet, I still bought a PS4 on launch, and the day it turned up, I was still playing games on my PS3.
Yeah.
I can't rag on Nintendo for having a shit games catalogue when, both of my consoles had shit games catalogues for the first year after they came out. But, maybe I'm just in a nice mood.
Yeah, I believe in the Switch to being a second console. I don't think there's many people out there that have bought Switch and only play the Switch.
Yeah, I struggled to justify it having, already having 2 high-def consoles. I struggled to justify it. It doesn't mean I don't want one. It doesn't mean I won't go out and buy one. I just we'll wait till or maybe not Black Friday because I'm broke, but
Maybe payday after Black Friday next year.
yeah,
Mate, give it Prime Day next year,
yeah,
that's what, May, June,
yeah, something like that.
sometime between May and June. Prime Day next year. If I see a Switch drop below 200 or 230,
Yeah,
then absolutely I'll probably end up picking one up.
yeah,
The only time I can really think that a Switch would be useful to me is a Wednesday when I go around my dad's to look after my little sister.
yeah,
And I think she'd enjoy me bringing the Switch if she could play a couple of games. And when I'm on the train going to London,
yeah,
I mean, I'm a Spurs season ticket holder, so that's at least twice a month
yeah.
by definition. I mean, it's not likely that there's going to be a month where there is 3 away games instead of each.
But
But
it'd be good for me as well for my 'cause I've got a little one who
yeah,
enjoys playing games with me.
yeah. Well, you could play it while taking the dog for a walk. Like
Yeah,
let the dog run around the park, and you're just playing Nintendogs.
yep. That's not going to happen. I'm not playing Nintendogs.
I don't even think Nintendogs is a thing anymore.
No, I don't think it is.
That'd be a real kick in the balls to anyone with it, like any dog owner. It's like go outside with their dog and then plays Nintendogs on their Switch.
I know, right? I'm pretty sure my wife would kill me.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
for my
because
dog.
you convinced her to get a dog, and then you go and play with the digital one instead.
Yeah. I think my dog would probably eat the Switch just so she got more attention.
Well, any attention's good attention when it comes to dogs.
This is true. Well, no, not necessarily. I recently redone all my Blu-ray and DVD shelves so I can put my steelbooks out properly. And I got all my pop vinyls. I have a shitload because I used to collect them and they used to sit on my desk at work, which they don't anymore since I changed jobs.
Yep.
But most of them are film-based, so they kind of all sat around by their films. Like my Hannibal Lecter stood by my Hannibal Lecter trilogy, and my Xenomorph stood by my Alien collections, and etc., etc., etc. And I came in to find that my dog had eaten the legs off of Hannibal Lecter.
Wow.
Yeah. And well, no, the first one she ate was my Altair. She ate my Altair pop vinyl, which I got really fucking angry about, and then moved everything up a shelf so she couldn't reach it. And then she ate my Hannibal Lecter, which meant she actually had to climb. She purposefully jumped up onto the shelf and grabbed it so she could eat it.
Yeah.
She's lucky she still has a home.
Ah, poor Mads.
I know, right?
He's cool.
It is my Mads Mikkelsen one as well. I was really fucking annoyed.
That was probably the coolest of the pop vinyls that I've ever seen. It was like
Now
proper. It was like proper Mads Mikkelsen level scary.
Now he's
pop
got no
vinyl.
legs.
He's probably still pretty fucking terrifying, even without legs.
I mean, it does. It kind of makes me smile because I still got it. It's still upstairs on the shelf, but it kind of makes me smile because this is weird to go from games to films to books. But in the Hannibal book and in the Hannibal TV series, Mason Verger wants to feed Hannibal Lecter to his pigs feet first.
Yep.
And he would kind of come out looking like my little Mad Spot vinyl now looks. So
Yep.
I kept it just because of that. The Altair one went in the bin because it's all kinds of fucked up. But,
Oh, poor Altair.
I know, right? Fuck her. I think that's probably our cue to move on, man.
Yeah. Yay, tangent.
Yeah, I know, right? So what we've been watching? Well, I've got...
Playing. This is a gaming podcast.
Fucking hell.
Not a film or TV one.
I know, right? I'm tired, mate. No, I'm not. I'm just confused. Apparently I have early onset Alzheimer's. But it's alright, because I won't remember it tomorrow.
That's a good point.
Anyways, what we've been playing. I got 2 games that I've been playing, mate. How about you?
Just the one. So you go first, I'll go second, and then you finish off with a nice Nice and short.
Cool. So I set up my Xbox One X finally.
Woo!
The week of it sitting in a box in front of my TV unit, I went, fuck it, I need to set this thing up. So I set it all up and went through my list of games that are ready to install. What did I install to my nice, shiny, new Xbox One X? I installed a 10-year-old game in Modern Warfare.
Nice.
I reinstalled and finally finished Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Because it just sat for... It's been a year since Infinite Warfare came out. And I got halfway through Modern Warfare Remastered and then just stopped playing for no reason. So I thought, fuck it, I'll finish it. And yeah, there is nothing I can say about that hasn't already been said a million times. I really fucking enjoyed the story. Did you played Modern Warfare Remastered, didn't you?
Yeah, I played it.
You finished it?
It was like the only time I've ever finished Modern Warfare.
So you know the bit at the end when you're running through the silo and you got the countdown timer?
Yeah.
What I really loved about that was I literally, because I was playing it on hard, I think. And I was on the edge of my seat the entire time I was playing because I know that if you get to the end and you don't have enough time left to finish the game, it sends you back to the beginning of the fucking mission. Because I remember it doing it to me when I played it on PS3. It's the reason I didn't play it on fucking Veteran this time around, because that's what kept fucking me up. Because you'd get to this particular checkpoint with just about enough time, or you get to this particular checkpoint near the end, and if you haven't got enough time left on the timer, it just goes, yeah, you're out of time, and sends you back. And I don't even know what the time was. I remember I played it this time, I ran through panicking. I wasn't going to have enough time when I got to the end, which made it even worse. I was a fucking wreck. I couldn't play it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really good. Really, really fun. Brought back a lot of good memories, and I just wish they'd done the Modern Warfare trilogy, because now I really want to play Modern Warfare 2 and I don't have anything to play it on. But yeah, that's my short and sweet what I've been playing.
Short and sweet of classic Call of Duties.
Yeah, man.
Remastered.
What have you been playing then?
I've been playing, freshly released, so hot off the presses. I've been playing Pokemon Ultra Sun, which is the reimagining of the story of Pokemon Sun.
Okay.
With Pokemon games, you get the two main games. So initially there was Red and Blue, and then there was Gold and Silver, Ruby, Sapphire, then Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, X and Y. With each one of those games comes usually a bit later on, 2 years, 3 years later on, they release another one. So for Red and Blue there was Yellow, Gold and Silver got Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire got Emerald, Diamond and Pearl got Platinum, Black and White got 2. They got Black 2 and White 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And Sun and Moon have got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Okay.
So in this one with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it's more or less the same story with a couple of changes. They're usually for Yellow, it was closer to match the anime rather than what the games were, because the game was made first, the anime is based on the game, and with Yellow the game was kind of remade to match the anime. You walked around with Pikachu instead of having one of the red starters, and you later on got sort of matched the anime. I didn't play Crystal, but I heard it was more or less the same as Gold and Silver. Platinum had a different legendary and a couple of other small minor changes, like appearance changes. The main legendary, instead of being the two that are around, I think you can catch both of those legendaries, and then when you do, you get an option to catch the other one.
Yeah.
Emerald, again, similar situation. It's a different legendary. Instead of the two main ones, it's just a different one. Black 2 and White 2 are actually set. Actually, the same with Emerald are set later on. So it's kind of a sequel, but at the same time, not because it's in a time. It's later on in the overall story. In terms of it's like a year or two later on. So the characters that are around you when you're playing are slightly older. They're more progressed, but your character that was in that one doesn't exist.
Okay.
So the player character doesn't really exist anymore. So it's moved on. This one I don't think is the same case. I think this is set at the exact same time frame. You're just playing the story again. There's some minor changes to it, and there's a post game, or after you finish the main story, they have these things called episodes, which have been around for a little while in these games since the 3DS versions came out. They've had episodes where, for some reason, they decided to just tack on extra content. So instead of just making the story reach the end as soon as you beat the Pokemon League, as it were. So at the very end, you beat the final Pokemon trainer, the champion, as it were, and then that's it. Then you just do whatever the fuck you like.
Okay.
So what they've done now is they've just added episodes on where you just continue the story, basically. So it's just more content. I'm not anywhere near that far, and I never played Sun or Moon, so I don't know where the fuck I am, how far into the game I am. This is a whole new experience for me. I'm playing blind, and because of that, I love it. I don't know how far along I am because this Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are very, very different beasts to all the previous ones. Before, it was quite simple. You'd collect your 8 badges, and then you'd go through Victory Road to the Pokemon League, beat the Elite Four, beat the champion, become the champion. In this one, there's no gyms. You do trials instead, and the trials are odd, to say the least. It's the first one of the first trial. I can't really remember the first trial. Hi, Cookie.
There's
But
the
one of
fucking
the
dog. Every time.
but
For
one of
fuck's
the
sake.
trials
Dude,
that
I swear to you, right, so my living room is, I don't know, 20 foot long. She sits at one end, I'm at the other. She literally gets up off her cushion, walks over to where I am, shakes, fucks off out the door, comes back in, sits back on her cushion.
Nice.
She's done nothing. She's literally gotten up just to fucking troll me.
It's because she heard you talking about her eating your pop vinyls, and she wanted to upset you a bit more.
Throw my pop vinyls at her. Sorry, mate, carry on.
One of the trials is essentially a spot the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 Marowak, which is an evolved Pokemon to a Cubone, and they do a weird little dance, and then it ends with a picture.
Okay.
And then they do the same dance again, and it ends with a different picture. And then you have to choose of the options what the difference is. And the difference is not difficult in the slightest. I mean, these are games aimed at children, but I think that even a child would struggle to get this wrong, because one of the pictures is 3 Marowak standing there, and then the second picture is 3 Marowak, and then some dude's face just right in the middle.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's not a hard.
Honestly, I say this not being disrespectful in the slightest. I had no idea that Pokemon was meant for kids.
Yeah.
Because most of the people I know that play it are grown-ups.
Well, it's like, shit. I don't really have a very good.
I agree with you completely. It's
It is
Pokemon.
like shit. It's difficult. I mean, there's something for me. Pokemon was when I was a kid.
Okay.
It's I've grown up with Pokemon. I
certainly get that. But
Uh,
when...
But be,
Sorry, go
but
on.
but Pokemon wasn't for adults back in the day. I mean, it's like 96 was when Pokemon Red and Blue came out.
Yeah.
So for me, I was 6, so I picked up Pokemon. I played it. I didn't really understand it, and there was the rare candy glitch, which meant that you could get all of your Pokemon to level 100 pretty easily. You had to get yourself 90% of your way through the story,
Yeah.
and then you could literally just get an unlimited supply of rare candy. So you could then, and then you would just go into the Pokemon League at full level 100.
Fair enough.
Guaranteed. So you pretty much just go through, steamroll the Pokemon League, and then that was it. The rest of the game was pretty much just catching the rest of the Pokemon, and there's 150 of them. But you can't get all of them on your version. You had to trade with an old Game Boy Link cable.
That's going back a bit.
Yeah. So, and I was a kid, but Pokemon it's a game designed for kids because you can't not make it for kids, but at the same time, the actual game is so strangely in depth.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many hidden values that people have spent ages, and I mean fucking ages, data mining. There's a hidden value called EVs and another hidden value called IVs.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck either of those really are because I've not looked into it enough. But what I do know is the Pokemon that you've got has a set limit on how much it can be leveled up. So the obvious, it gets to level 100. That's it. You can't go any higher. But it has stats: attack, defense, speed, special attack, and special defense.
Yeah. Okay.
Each Pokemon has a base rate and a base limit that they can go for each one of those 5 things. Now, depending on the Pokemon you battle, it gives bonuses to those. So if you battle nothing but a specific Pokemon that gives plus 5 EVs to that specific stat, then by the time you get around to leveling up, you'll get like possibly even a plus. So instead of going up +3 for special attack, you might jump up by +10, for instance.
Okay.
So you can then train your Pokemon to be better at that than anything else, and therefore, thus making a Pokemon that is absolutely outstandingly good at something. It's that detailed, and it requires that much looking into. I could spend the amount of time that I've played Pokemon so far looking into all of this and doing all of this, and I'd probably be maybe a fraction of the distance that I am through the game.
Okay.
I'd still probably be on the first area trying to sort out my first Pokemon to make sure it was perfect. Because there's all kinds of special breeding stuff. So the mother and the father of the Pokemon, when you get an egg, depending on what the mother is and what moves they've got, they then transfer down to the egg and the baby. And this isn't even this is
getting far too complicated for me.
Exactly, it's things like that, and I like playing the game, and it's too complicated for me. Plus, you want to throw in the fact that there's a 1 in like 3,625 chance of the Pokemon coming out being shiny. Do you want to know the difference between a shiny Pokemon and a non-shiny Pokemon?
Does one of them shine?
It's cosmetic. But for some reason, people will spend ages breeding their Pokemon to get an egg to come out that ends up being a shiny version of that Pokemon.
This feels like the 3DS equivalent of Panini sticker packs.
It is. It is basically just it's the worst part is it's potluck to get a shiny. 1 in like a 3,625 chance or worse. It might even actually be worse odds. But also to have high EVs, really good IV, and an ability that it's like usually like one of 3 abilities, and one of them is the one that you really want to have versus the other 2. To get all of that could take you the best part of a year for one Pokemon, and you get a team of 6.
Jesus Christ.
That's how much time and effort people put into it to then battle online
Actually, you know what? I take
against
it back.
other
I'm not
people.
going to be nice to Nintendo anymore. I blame them for loot boxes now.
Yeah. Just imagine if they had you had the ability to pay for things like making all of your Pokemon shiny, like DLC for Pokemon, microtransactions. All Pokemon are now shiny if you try and catch.
Jesus Christ.
You could charge £15 for that, and people would pay it.
Fucking hell.
Instant money. Just for a little code change, which you probably would get with a hacked 3DS later on once the people find the hacks for the game.
Yeah.
Hack your 3DS, you download Sun hacks, and you could just walk around and all the Pokemon show up as shiny, just because there's a code change that
Yeah.
literally just goes, now all of them are shiny. So all in all, I've really enjoyed playing Pokemon the last 5 days that I have, and
Cool.
I will probably continue playing it until I at least finish the story and then a couple of the episodes just to see what it is before never turning it on again.
Yeah. So your 3DS gathers dust for another year, waiting for the next one.
Yeah, or I'm guessing that seeing as there's not going to be another one.
Yeah.
But while I'm playing my 3DS, I might check to see if Smash Bros goes cheap over, or like DS titles in general go cheap in a Black Friday sale. I might pick up Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
If it drops like £12, £12 probably my limit to buying a game on my 3DS.
Yeah. 12 quid. I'd pay 12 quid for Smash Brothers.
Yeah. And I'm gonna pay £300 for Smash Brothers when it goes on Switch.
Well, yeah. Fucking hell. Oh, so much money
Yeah.
for one
Well,
game.
for one game, but there's also like Mario Kart and any
Oh, yeah.
future Pokemon games, and the fact that I can play it and you can charge it while it's around, so I could take it up north when I go see my mum. I don't even
Yeah.
need to worry about. It's not like I'm taking a whole fucking console, cables and everything. I can just take the Switch and a charging cable.
Yeah. Well, this is why I was looking at one for when I go away, in a week and a bit. Because
Yeah,
basically it will work the same as me owning a Vita that I no longer own.
yeah. You want a Vita? I'll sell you mine. It's somewhere in my house. Actually, I can do one better than that. It's somewhere in my bedroom.
It doesn't help me. No, it's one of those things that I kind of go, yeah, it would be nice, but I wouldn't use it enough. Not for that specific thing. Whereas, like, a Switch, I could still play games on when I got home. I wouldn't play the Vita when I got home. It's the reason I got rid of my Vita in the first place. I just didn't use it enough. Are you done talking about Pokemon?
I'm done.
Cool. Yeah, so the other game I played was my first, and no, not my only, because I've got Gears as well, I suppose. Oh, excuse me, no, I'm fucking yawning.
Prick.
And now I can't stop. Jesus.
Giving me a hard time.
All right. Yeah, so I've been playing. I don't even know why, but I do know why I bought it, because it looked fun. I've been playing Super Lucky's Tale, which I bought on the strength of watching Lee play it at EGX, and it looking kind of fun, and it basically looking like Crash Bandicoot, but not
Yep.
quite.
Well, I was going to say, if you really wanted to play Crash Bandicoot, you could have played Crash Bandicoot.
No. Well, no, because to be honest, the thing I wanted Super Lucky's Tale for was to play with Nikita.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it is one of those kind of games as well. It's got a really cool, it's got like a co-op controller mode as well. So 2 controllers can control the character in the game. And so if she gets stuck, I can take over control and get her through it, and then she can move on. I haven't tried it yet, but I do know that that's a thing. But it's basically, it's a 3D platformer where you do 3D platformy type things. It's very, very, very kiddified. And I don't say that as a negative, I say it as I bought it specifically because it looks like it will be good for kids, although I'm quite enjoying playing it myself. It's not particularly taxing. It's not particularly, it's not difficult. It's just a platformer, but a very easy platformer. But it looks very nice, and it's got a cute-looking fox. I didn't realise actually this is a sequel to like an Oculus Rift game. I had no idea.
What?
Yep. Lucky's Tale is an Oculus Rift game.
Cool. I didn't know that.
No, I had no idea. But this is a Xbox Windows exclusive.
I was gonna say I thought this was like a brand new IP for Xbox.
Well, I thought it was until I, looked into it a little bit. I have no idea if the story follows on or anything. So you play as Lucky, who is a cute little fox who wants to be an adventurer and gets stuck in a book and now has to get out. And you have to get out by defeating, I don't know, there's a group of cats and they're called something. Catastrophe Crew. No, that's Paw Patrol. Kitty Litter.
Oh,
They are the kitty litter. And you have to defeat them. Like the first one I defeated was apparently a kung fu master. And
awesome.
I defeated them by kicking little balls at it. Or hitting little balls at it with my tail. It's one of those kind of games. It's like Sly Cooper. It's just basically jumping around, collecting coins. Like I've collected like 4,000 coins in the hub world. I don't know what I do with them. I've just got coins. I've got coins coming out of my ass, and I don't know what to do with them. But they make a nice jingly sound when I collect them, and I enjoy watching the number go up, so I collect coins. It's fun. It's just a 3D platformer. I don't know what else to say. It's really nice. It looks lovely. I'm sure when I put it onto a 4K TV, it will look lovelier. It is an enhanced for Xbox One 4K title. It may be the most pointless of the enhanced for Xbox One 4K titles.
I was gonna say it's just really pretty colours.
Yes,
So in 4K, it's just gonna look more colours.
yeah. There's a bit of searching you can do. Like at every area you go to, if you hunt around and look for little secret bits, you can collect letters, and there are 5 in each area that spell out Lucky.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've never done it. I don't know what you get for it. I've gone 4 letters deep and then left the area and gone, oh, where's the other one? But like I say, it's good, it's fun, it's not very challenging. It does have a problem, I think, with the camera, in as much as it looks like it should be able to spin all the way around, and it kind of doesn't. So from your main perspective, you can kind of go 45 degrees left or right, and that's about it. So your looking around is a bit limited, and a couple of the platforming bits, it can make it a bit of a pain in the ass. But it's hardly game breaking. It's I think it's like 4 worlds big. It's not very big at all. I'm almost certain I'll be done in a couple more hours. But if you want something to just pass the time, and definitely something for the kids on Xbox, Super Lucky's Tale is the direction you should be leaning. It's kind of cool. It's cute.
It sounds fun.
It's cute and it's a bit of fun. It's like I say, it's not taxing at all. It's relaxed. You could sit with your feet up and just kind of ding along with the coin collecting and bit of jumping, bit of platforming. You ain't got to think about it much. You can just enjoy the pretty scenery and a couple of fun puzzles. Really, really fucking basic puzzles, but fun nonetheless. And those ones I'm kind of looking forward to trying to help Nikita with. Yeah, because they are logic puzzles, and while I find them insanely easy, she'll want to throw the controller at the TV because she won't get it. So Yes, that I'm looking forward to, most definitely. But yeah, that's my. I don't have much else to say on Super Lucky Star. I've been playing loads, but I've kind of purposely held off finishing a couple of games, mainly so I can talk about them on the next episode when I'm going to be in London and severely hindered for half the time.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's why you need a Switch.
that's why I need a Switch. But yeah, I finally, because they snuck it on and with absolutely no fanfare at all, but Battlefield 1 is now on EA Access.
Finally. How long have you been waiting for that?
Well, they said by the end of September, and they said in September, and I assumed it would be, same week as Titanfall, and it clearly wasn't. But I just happened to be looking at my list, and I can add that now. When did that happen? But
It's Battlefield 1 Xbox One X enhanced.
I don't know.
It's entirely possible.
Looks very pretty, but I will talk about that in the next episode because I haven't quite finished it yet. I will. But yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started Tomb Raider as well.
Ooh.
For no other reason, well, for several reasons, but
Xbox One X enhanced?
No, because the definitive edition of Tomb Raider is not Xbox One X enhanced.
I thought you meant Rise.
No, but I do want to play Rise because it is Xbox One X enhanced. I own Rise, and I got about 6 hours into it and then stopped playing, and I don't know why. So I made the decision. I was like, right, well, I'm going to play through Tomb Raider 1 first, mainly so I can get on and play Rise and just kind of jump straight in and go through the whole story. But secondly, beginning of next year, the new Tomb Raider movie comes out, and it is definitely based on that reboot. So I want to kind of have it fresh in my memory. But yeah, again, I think I'm 25% through, is what the counter said this evening when I turned it off. So, and that's after about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So, won't take me long. The good thing about it is actually it's not a trophy thrower. Like literally every achievement in it is a fucking collectible achievement or multiplayer, which I'm not going anywhere near. So I don't care about achievements and trophies for it. I'm just going to play through the story and do the occasional tomb if I see one. But I'm recording footage from it as well, so we can talk over it for one of our videos at some point.
Yeah. Something about videos is always something we should probably be considering it frequently.
Well, yeah, I've got a Wolfenstein one to upload. To be fair, by the time this podcast goes up, I probably would have uploaded it. I finally edited the Assassin's Creed video, so now you and me need to do voiceover for that at some point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I might aim to get Tomb Raider videos off the Xbox. Which, you know what? I fucking hate game DVR only recording for 10 minutes. It
is an
bullshit.
absolute ball ache.
Like, PlayStation, once I figured it out, PlayStation you can record for up to an hour, assuming you have the space. You can record an hour of gameplay, solid, without thinking about it.
Yeah. I have 4 terabytes of hard drive plugged into my console, and 1 terabyte of hard drive inside my console.
Yeah.
At what point is 5 minutes of 1080p or 10 minutes of 720p what I'm after?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I want us to do loads of videos because I'm actually quite enjoying them. They're really short and we have a bit of a laugh and we just get on with stuff. But I don't want to spend, 200 quid on a decent game DVR when the consoles fucking have them. Dickheads. But yeah, I have Tomb Raider videos that I need to figure out how to get it off my Xbox and onto my laptop so I can edit down. At some point.
Yeah.
But I think that's
Yeah, just for recommendations.
Do you have a recommendation?
I do. Because you know what actually happened in the last episode?
Go on.
I didn't actually put a recommendation forward. So distracted by trying to keep the peace that I didn't actually get around to saying a recommendation in the last episode.
Did you not?
And I was hosting.
Well, fucking hell.
Yeah. We just sort of glossed over the fact that I didn't have a recommendation. Just didn't put one out there.
Didn't we end up just talking about Twitch?
I think so.
Oh, fucking hell. So go get your recommendation out quick before I start talking about something else.
My recommendation is it's currently available and will be for the next 20 days, which is on Xbox Live Games with Gold, is Tales from the Borderlands complete season, so episodes 1 to 5 of that.
Good choice.
Fucking brilliant game, and the fact that it's free means that you should absolutely be buying it.
Absolutely. Second best Telltale game so far. Really, really, really good. Good choice.
You don't even need to like Borderlands really to enjoy it.
No, you don't. I mean, if you've played Borderlands, it would possibly help just so you understand the lore a bit.
Yeah.
But it's not required, not at all.
No.
Everything that you need to know is explained to you.
Yeah.
Poor old Telltale not having a good time at the moment, are they? Laid
Well.
off 90 people.
So that happens when you release average games.
Yeah, I think the episodic bubble may have burst finally for Telltale. But shame. Well, no, not. It's a shame that people have lost their jobs, but hopefully it means we get something different because we've been playing the same game every time now. But shame. My recommendation's a weird one.
Okay.
It's something I'm going to recommend. I only started playing it. What time is it now? It is 10 to 10. So I started playing this 5 hours ago.
Ooh.
I completely forgot it was a thing. And then remembered, and then installed it, and then started playing it. It is South Park Phone Destroyer.
Alright.
It's a mobile game. I'm currently playing it on my... Well, not currently, because I'm talking to you. But currently playing it on my iPad, and it's basically the combat from the Stick of Truth, but with playing cards.
Okay.
So you kind of, as you get energy to do it, you throw playing cards onto the battlefield, and those playing cards do things like, because this one's a Cowboys and Indians game. So Stick of Truth was they were basically playing Lord of the Rings. The Fractured But Whole was they were playing superheroes, and Phone Destroyer is they're playing Cowboys and Indians. So lots of inappropriate Indian jokes and lots of cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's free, completely free. I think it has in-app purchases. I haven't seen any yet, but I won't buy any anyway because I don't need to. Because I don't play mobile games that much, so literally it's for, I'm going to go for a poo. I'm going to take my iPad with me and play some South Park.
Yeah, and then your legs go to sleep and you realise you've been there for an hour.
Exactly.
People are starting to send out search parties.
While I'm laughing at poo jokes in South Park. But yeah, that's my recommendation. It's actually, I thought, this is going to be shit, but it's surprisingly fun. I quite like it.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, I'm probably never going to download it myself, but...
No. I knew it. I remember it being advertised or being revealed at E3 this year. Same time they showed off the Fractured But Whole. And then the Fractured But Whole came out and I completely forgot about it. And then I sat there and went, there was a mobile game I wanted to play, but I can't remember what it was. So I opened up the App Store and just started going through all the free games until I found the one that I remembered I wanted to play, and it was South Park. That was how I spent my evening. Looking after my daughter.
Well, probably not an appropriate thing to play around your daughter, but there are worse ways to spend your evening.
She did sit watching me play. Dad, what's that? That's an Indian, sweetheart. Dad, what are you doing? I'm killing him. Why? Because he's an Indian, sweetheart. And that's what they deserve. I'm teaching my daughter well.
Yep. Well, it's no different to how your parents were taught with the movies they were watching.
Exactly. So, before we get too bad, let's wrap this up, mate.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be a couple of weeks before our next episode. Until then, mate, where can people find you?
People can find me on the Twitters of the John_CU and Xbox Live as Long Dong Silver.
Cool. I am on Twitter. I am at Brooker411, where I just I basically do what we do here, which is just rant and get really pissy about things, but do it in 280 characters instead of an hour and 40-minute long podcast. And you can find us as a team. So we are Character Unlock, or at Character Unlock on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can find us. Well, we have our own YouTube channel as well, to which I would appreciate, or we would appreciate, any and all subscribers and views, because the more subscribers we get, I can then give us a custom-made link on YouTube. And because I don't want to keep putting out links to, youtube.com/8E3BC496, whatever the fuck it is. I don't think that's it. But yeah. So, but all of it, the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, come find us, talk to us, like us, subscribe to us, watch our videos, all that kind of shit. And, come yell at us if you don't like something we've said. Or yell at John, because I don't want to be yelled at.
I've probably offended someone at some point.
I've definitely offended someone at some point. I just don't care. That's not true. I do care. I just don't care. Alright, I'm going to fucking bed.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah. Say goodnight, John.
Good night, John.
Good night, mate.